Ironically, it is easier to enjoy jobs than leisure because they contain goals, feedback rules and challenges, which encourage us to get involved in our work. Let's focus and lose ourselves in it. If we pay our full attention to important things and ignore things superficial and negative, we will feel that our professional life is more important and more positive. The feeling of deepening in something is, in itself, very satisfactory. Our minds like this challenge, regardless of the subject. The key to developing the skill to work deep is to go beyond good intentions and to introduce rituals in your professional life, meant to minimize the limited amount of will to make the transition to and maintain a state of uninterrupted concentration. If you have set your habits and rituals, you will need a lot less desire to start and continue to work. Therefore, in the long term you will succeed much more often in these deep efforts. Seinfeld's technique to create many good jokes. It has a calendar on the wall. Every day when he writes jokes, cut the date with a big X, marked with red. After a few days he get a chain. It is up to work and the chain will continue to grow every day. He likes to see this, especially after a few weeks pass. The only thing is to not interrupt is the chain. The easiest way to consistently start deep work sessions is to transform into a simple regular habit. You can establish an hour you use every day to dedicate you to deep work. Some jobs do not allow you to disappear when the need for depth appears. For a lot of bosses, you are free to focus as long as you want, as long as you respond promptly to the emails from the boss. The ability to move from superficiality to depth does not come by itself. This habit requires, at the same time, the feeling of confidence in your own skills. Conviction as what you do, it is important and you will succeed. There are some generic questions to which any efficient ritual must answer. Where you will work and how long. The ritual must specify a place to carry out the efforts, as well as a specific time interval. How will you work after you start working? The ritual needs rules and processes for to maintain the structured efforts. How will you support your work? The ritual must ensure that the mind receives the support of who needs to continue to operate at a high level of depth. The division of space with a large number of colleagues is incredibly disturbing, creating an environment that prevents attempts to think seriously. The more you try to do more, the less you do. The execution must target a small number of burning goals. This simplicity will help concentrate the energy of an organization, reaching the right intensity to trigger real results. You should identify a small number of ambitious results, to aim to get through hours of deep work. Establishing a specific goal that will bring you benefits professionally tangible and substantial, it will generate a more constant enthusiasm. At the end of the workday, you do not think anymore about work-related issues, until the second day in the morning. Do not check your email after dinner. Do not restore the conversations in mind and do not look for solutions to address a difficult problem you are going to face. Eliminate absolutely every thought that is related to work. Free time helps to think penetrating. Providing conscious minds time to rest. The unconscious mind has the opportunity to take control, unraveling the one's more complex professional challenges. Relaxation helps you recover the energy needed for deep work. Spending time in nature. We can improve our ability to focus, because it exposes us to some stimuli that exert an inherent fascination. These stimuli require little attention, allowing the mechanisms of the attention sustained to recover. A relaxed conversation with a friend. Listen to music while making dinner, playing a game with children, run, types of activities that will fill your time in the evening if you will disconnect. On the other hand, if you interrupt yourself in checking and responding to emails, or if you set aside a few hours after dinner to make progress on a project whose the delivery time is approaching, the centers of the directed attention are lacking in the uninterrupted rest they need to recover. Avoid working in the evening. After the end of the workday, you cannot allow your attention to penetrate even the most minor professional concerns, including checking the email and browsing sites related to work. When you work, work with assiduity. When you finish the job, make sure you have completed it really. May the average response to emails will have somewhat suffering, but you will compensate by the volume of work of really important work. The ability to concentrate intensely is a skill that must be practiced. You can transform professional life, passing overnight from disturbances to concentration, if you simply find enough motivation. Once the mind has become accustomed to being distracted on request, it is hard to get rid of Re's addiction, even when you want to focus. Online, the constant jumps of attention have a negative lasting effect on the mind. Once you are set to be distracted, you are in that negative effect. I suggest that at work you keep a notebook next to your computer. On this notebook, write the next time you are allowed to use the internet. By that time, the connection to the network is not allowed at all, no matter how tempting. The internet is seductive. You might think you only look at a single important email in the inbox, but it will be difficult to take a look at the other messages that you have recently received. It does not take too many exceptions of this kind before your mind starts to consider the barrier between the internet and the hypostasis offline as permeable, diminishing the benefits of this strategy. In this situation, it is crucial not to abandon the offline redoubt, even when you will be stumbled. If possible, move on to another offline activity in the remaining range until you can have internet access, or maybe even use this time to relax. During an offline session, put the phone aside, ignore the messages. To wait simply by boring you became a new experience in modern life, but from the perspective of practicing concentration, is an extra valuable thing. Productive meditation allows you to take a period to be physically busy but not mentally, walking, running, driving, showering, and focus on your attention to a single well-defined professional problem. You can do memory exercises, which contributes to the improvement of the capacity generic to concentrate. The power of the desire is limited and, therefore, as the tools that require attention are more attractive, the harder it will be to keep your focus on something important. In order to master the art of deep work, you must regain your control over time and attention. Social media applications are designed in such a way as to create addiction, rapid time and attention from activities that will more directly support professional and personal goals, such as deep work. These services will confiscate time and attention, and if used without limit, they can be extremely devastating for the mission to work more deeply. Think about how you spend your free time. It is crucial to establish before what you will make serenades and on weekends before starting. Structured hobbies that generate specific actions, with clear purposes. Mental faculties are capable of a difficult activity continuously. They do not tire like arm the leg. They want nothing but change, no rest, except for sleep. If you give the mind to do something significant during all the hours you are awake, you will finish, you still fulfill, and you will start the next more relaxed than if you leave his mind as swinging for hours, navigating semi-consciously and without direction on the internet. Few people work even 8 hours a day. You are lucky if you manage to work a few good hours, with all sessions, interruptions, internet browsing, office policy and personal affairs, which saturates a typical day at the office. Deep work is exhausting because it will push to the limit of the capabilities you have, so that the limit will reach about 4 hours. Superficial work does not become dangerous until after you start granting enough long time that you get to limit your deep efforts to do on the day the respective. Deep work is much stronger than most people understand. Here is one quote that I really love from this book. "I will lead a focused life, because it is the best of what exists." Winifred Gallagher. Thanks for listening.